couple of minutes early. I thought we'd go ahead and get started because this one's going to be a doozy to do. But hello, I've been talking to several of you today, and I thought, you know, am I crazy to be doing something this big? It's awkward. It takes up half my table, and there's a lot of detail in it, and y'all know how slow I am, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. So we're going to be painting this snowman, or very similar to it, on the front of an old cabinet. We remodeled an RV and took cabinets out of it. Hi, Mary. So we'll be painting this jolly little fellow. And the only thing I won't be able to do tonight, because I have to seal it first, is putting the diamond dust glitter on it. But I will show you on one of the snowflakes how to do that. So I'll show you the technique. I just won't be able to do that until tomorrow. So let me go ahead and set this one aside. How's everybody doing tonight? It was a gorgeous, gorgeous day, and I did not get to get out in it at all. I've been busy trying to get everything, and I'm pretty much done as far as packing everything. Everything was priced. I pretty much had everything priced anyway, because what I do is price as I go. Once I finish a piece, I put the price tag on it right then, so that I don't have to worry about that. So give me just a second. Let me go ahead and pull me up in Facebook so I can see your comments. It'll take it just a second to come on board here. Okay, all right. I'm going to show you what else I've been working on. And I guess you would like to know who I am. I am Pam Savage with Young at Heart Creations. I paint. I love to paint. I love to teach others to paint. And I love a good challenge as far as coming up with unusual things to do. So this is another cabinet door. This one is much longer. And I've got some cleaning up to do on the back of it, but I'm not finished with it yet. It is much longer than the other one. And I'm only about halfway finished with it, so don't judge it yet. But here's what I'm working on this. I've still got quite a few details to put on the chickens. And I don't know if you can tell, that's a really pretty blue in the background. It's Deco Art Colonial Blue. Love it, and love to mix a few little white pieces in there, little white streaks. So Mama Chicken's smiling at her baby chicken. And so what I've still got left to do, and I'll try to post a good picture of it, but I still have to do all the details on the chicken. She's going to have, both of them are going to have quite a few little details on them. And then, hi Monica. And then I'm going to put grass all along the bottom. And not sure what else I'm going to do. But my kitchen is done in chickens. And so I'm trying to decide if this is going to go in the craft show or if this is going to go in my kitchen. I'm not sure, but it is, ugh. It's hard. It's so hard to let go of things. Okay, in my phone, well, you know what? When I hold something up like that, that's when I get yellow. I was trying to think, why am I yellow? But I guess it's reflecting the light, or it's blocking the light. So, there we go. Okay, much better. All right, I'm going to set this aside. See if you can see it maybe better back here. The blue shows up better. But so I'll be working on that, hopefully a little bit more this week, and I'll go live when I'm putting the details on it. Set it over here so don't forget. And I've been working on this little guy. That was one of our Dollar Tree hearts that you can use also at Valentine's, but I turned him into a Santa. I did add some, don't know if you can see it, but I did add a lot of diamond dust. Look at that sparkle. I just think he's so cute. And what's so special about him is that I have hit over 600 now. In fact, I had 602 written down to tell you, and I've already had to scratch that out and add 2 more. So just a week or so ago, I was only at 500. So that's 100 people. I'm just blown away and so thankful. So thankful. But so we're going to have a name drawing here in just a little bit to see who's going to win this little guy. Also, I love sending out Happy Mails. So this will be gifted. And then I have several other little goodies. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Melinda. So I'm going to bring you down here. And if you've been commenting on my videos, I've gone back several videos and put everybody that commented, your name got put in the drawing. So I have several names. Okay, so let me show you what else is going to go in the Happy Mail. Just a cute little notebook to make notes, sketches, whatever you want to do with that. A daughter. It's got 2 different sizes. You know I'm always making dots. So this is a daughter. And like on my table here, I have my measuring tape, a paper one, taped down underneath this plastic cloth. I use it constantly measuring things. So you will get one of those to tape down on your table. So it'll be there for you to use. And then we're going to be using snowflakes tonight. Look at all those pretty snowflakes. So these came out of, I got them at Hobby Lobby, and they come in a little tray like this. And they're back by the paints, but in the display aisle. They have a lot of little crafts for kids back there, and several little, it's not really an end cap, but it's in between the end caps down the aisle. And these were, I think, $2.99 on sale. So I got 3 or 4 of these. So I'm putting one of each in there. Love them. And let's see, what else are you getting? Whoever wins tonight. So a great eraser. This is great for erasing pencil, but it's also good for erasing graphite paper if you've gotten off to, or need to erase that. I always try to put in one of my favorite base coat brushes. Love these from Walmart. It's what I use to base coat all the time when I have enough a piece that I can use it on. And then lastly, a cute little, we used these at my live event when we did it, but to dry our pieces or whatever, but a cute little painter's palette hand fan. That'd be good for church. Or anything, any place that it's going to be a little bit hot, or drying your piece if you're somewhere where you don't have a hair dryer, and that's what we used them for. So that's what all's going to be in the Happy Mail, unless I find some other little something to stick in there. So I think that's a pretty good haul, and a painted piece, a double-sided painted piece. So for the Valentine, I would stick, because you don't want to put a hanger on the back of it, with Santa. So I would, when it comes Valentine's time, I would just stick some little ribbon through these holes and then flip it over to that side. Now remember, and I didn't think about this when I first started out doing this, I was putting the glue over the staples or whatever I had in here just to keep it from scratching your door if you put it on a door. But if you have a door that faces the sun or door that gets hot, just remember that this hot glue will melt. So this may not be something you would want to put out in the weather. So just so you know that. So we'll do that. We'll do the drawing here in just a few minutes. I've got Santa's hat. Get you up here. I've got Santa's hat full of names. There's all kinds of names down there in the bottom of that hat. So we've got lots of names in there. So we'll do a drawing here in just a little bit. And then when I pick your name, when I draw your name, you will need to private message me, just instant message me with your address, and I will get it in the mail. Not promising that it'll be this week because I have a craft show Saturday. My biggest craft show of the year. So probably won't be this week. It'll probably be next week. So to be honest, I'm exhausted. I have been loading and packing things and packing my trailer. Everything's in plastic bags, sacks. Then you get all that done, and then you got to remember, okay, you need a cash drawer. You need to make sure that you've got change. Do you have your square? just so, you know, to take card payments, and there's just so many things that you got to think of. A little toolkit, and so I think I've got everything down in my living room. It looks like Santa's workshop. So I've got everything down in my living room ready to put in the car. I don't want to put it in there too early because I don't want it getting hot, you know, too hot. Okay, let's see. So, want to make sure that I had told you everything. It was Tell It Tuesday. I'm trying to remember to remind you of that on Tell It Tuesday, that you could put your business name on here, and you can link that. You can do that during our live tonight, and something that you've made. So you're welcome to go on my page and do that. Okay, so what I've done so far, I did post the video out in the garage. This apron and I are not going to get along tonight, I can already tell you. But you saw out in the garage where I took the cabinets. They're dark brown on the outside. They are solid wood. They're very heavy. And I just painted white. I think I got it at Walmart, but it's primer and paint mixed. It's already got the primer in it, and it's for indoors in a house is what it was for, or cabinets. Hi, Judy. Hi, Anna. Hi, Miss Vicki. So I didn't paint it solid. I just kind of streaked it on. So you can still see some of the grain on this one. Now, the other one, I painted it black, just because of the difference in what I was doing. And then with my trusty brush, I took that colonial blue and got it on, just base coated it all over. While it was still wet, I just took some white and streaked it in. Just wanted to go ahead and get a little bit of a head start because we've got a lot to do on this guy. Hopefully we will get finished. If not, you've seen the finished product back here. So hopefully we'll get some done. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And before I forget, it's also Tip It Tuesday. So I wanted to tell you what the tip is. And I did mention this when I was painting live over the weekend. Some of you got on and was you were watching when I was painting the chickens. But I'm always constantly, when I am shading or highlighting, when I'm floating, I'll go to stick my brush in my paint and I'll do the wrong end. I'm like, oh man, I had it on the other end, and I'll get a double shading, a double line, and I don't want that. You want your shading or highlighting color always on the same tip so that you're not double doing it, and I'll always forget what I'm doing. So as long as it's got wording on there, I've started dipping the corner. I find the words on the brush, and I always dip the bottom corner of the words. So this one is Low Cornell, that's where it is. So I get my paint to shade underneath that, and then that way, because sometimes when you get the base coat in there, it's kind of hard to tell which end you did until you start doing it, and then it gets on your paint, on your piece where you don't want it. So that's my Tip It Tuesday, is pick you a spot that you know what it is, look at it each time before you dip. Okay, so we need a little bit larger brush. Let's go with this 3/4 brush, and let's get going with some paint. Now I like to, on white, especially if it's on a darker color, and I'm going to bring you down here, I like to base coat it in buttercream or buttermilk, I think is what this one is, but just some kind of an off-white, an antique white, just something like that to kind of give it a better base so that it will cover better. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and this is just Deco Arts, and it's buttermilk. So it's kind of just an off-white. It's got almost a little yellow tint to it, but it just gives just enough of what we need to give that white a base. I do have to tell you before I get started, I forgot to set my clock, to reset my clock in here, so I was rushing around like crazy because it was showing me that it was almost 6 o'clock. Well, it was only almost 5 o'clock. So, but I was rushing around, and I was trying to get some things together, and I was looking for something, and I had a jar of my paint water, very dirty paint water that I've been painting this morning, and because I got everything loaded up, and so I went ahead and painted. Well, I turned around and I knocked it over. It went all over this, went on my iPad, all over the floor, all over the wall, underneath my mat, on the carpet. So I was cleaning it up like crazy, and then realized that I had not set this clock. So that's what I've been going through before this live. So hopefully the live goes better than the prep for it. All right, let's get started. Let's do some buttermilk here, and hopefully I won't knock the water over again. I'm going to set it up a little bit because this little guy's long. This cabinet is pretty long. So what I've done is I've taken a chalk pencil. Just I got this one at a live event, but I think Hobby Lobby has them. Walmart probably does, but I think they come in all colors. But I used the white on this. It showed up really well. So I've already kind of drawn him off where I want him. And I don't know if you can see that. You can kind of see his hat there. So I've just drawn him out. That way, if I don't get him just right, just like I want him, then I can just wipe it off until I get it just like I want it. Okay, so, hi Patty. All right, and y'all holler at me if I forget to move, because this is so big, if I forget to move it around and get you on camera. So I don't think we're going to need that pencil anymore, because I think we've pretty much got everything laid out. So I'm just going to take this flat brush and I'm just going to start base coating it with that butter color. And that brush, I don't think I'm going to like it. Let me try this other one. Then I reached in to wash my brushes on what I was painting a minute ago, and instead of the water cup, I put it in my paintbrush cup, so I got paint all over everything. It's just been one of those days. So hopefully I won't do something tonight that messes everything up. This paint is, and the wood under here, it's kind of chalky. So this doesn't flow like it normally would. So I have been adding just a little bit of water to it to help it spread better. Let a bristle come out. By the way, Kim Madison, if you watch this playback, or if you're on here, Kim Madison, somebody I met at Wallace House Designs retreat, she gave me a package of these brushes that are really hard to find. She said Walmart used to carry them, but they're having, I think they've stopped making them is what I understood. But I really do like it. I hate that they stopped, you know, and it's like every time you find something that you really, really like, they discontinue it. Okay, now I don't need a really heavy coat, so just kind of thinning it out there, getting those ridges. Now his head will come down over his belly, and when I get down here, I'm not too worried about it because the snow is going to go over it. But I'm going to go ahead and do it as if it weren't, because I don't know exactly where it'll stop and start. I love this blue. I've had it quite a while. I don't know if they still make it. So I am just literally just kind of throwing it on there. I cooked a huge supper last night. Well, not huge, but I mean a nice supper. I cooked pork steaks, very nice pork steaks that I'd gotten at Albertsons. And nice baked potatoes. and green beans. Anyway, so I cooked good I've cooked all week. We've not gone out to eat in quite a while, so I asked my husband if he would just go get fajitas tonight at one of our local restaurants. So he had to go into town anyway, so I got out of cooking supper tonight. I enjoy cooking, but it's just a crazy busy week trying to get ready for the craft show. Okay, let me dry this for just a second. Hi, Miss Christy. Where did you find those brushes? Glitter handles now. Did you find it at Walmart? I didn't see any at our Walmart, but I wasn't looking for the glitter handles. Maybe they didn't discontinue them, they were just making them fancy. Ooh, I'll have to look at ours again. So that means you could probably order them online. Okay, I am going to run over it just one more time since I've got all of this out. This paint left over. I've been really good about scooping it back in. Chrissy, I was just thinking about all of us that went to the retreat. How I'm just really missing everyone. Just wasn't long enough. There was a lot of talent in that one hotel room. I could have sat and watched those ladies paint all day, every day for a week. We had 3 days. You'll hear the train in the background. We have a train that used to come in. The tracks are right by us. We're out in the country, but it comes right by us, and it used to come maybe once a week. Now it's going by like 3 or 4 times a day, every day. And it's been doing that for the last, I don't know, 6 months. So I don't know what all they're hauling, but they are busy. Okay, now right now it's hard to tell the separation from the body and the head, but when we start shading and floating, then you'll be able to see that. Okay, I'm going to, because that's quite a bit left over, so I'm going to scoop that back in. I'm trying to be very frugal and not waste it. I'm afraid with everybody not wanting to work that we may start having a shortage in it again in the company. Hope not. With all that I got back in there. So proud of me. Yay me. Okay, let's dry that again. And then we'll put some white on him. I didn't get to see all of her live. I just got in on the tail end of it. So I'll have to go back and watch it. Y'all, I am absolutely addicted to the diamond dust. I just love, love, love it. and I'm very, 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 I don't know if stingy is the word, frugal with it, but every time I use it, I always save the leftover and put it back in there, and it's lasted me so long. Okay, I think that's dry enough on that. And kind of cool it down a little bit. I don't like painting on a hot surface. Your paint just doesn't do right. Okay, now let's go with some white. My very, very favorite white to use is Delta Ceramcoat. I just think it covers better than any that I've used. I've just been real pleased with it. Okay, so I washed that brush out, so we're just going to go back with the same brush. And it is a 5/8 Horizon Group. That's what it's called. So I'm just going to dip in this white. Now I'm going to start on his belly first, because I want a little bit of a ridge to come over his belly with his head. Oh, it covers so much better. I mean, it may still take 2 coats, but it sure does cover a lot better. I don't like the folk art white at all. It's really chalky. And when it's chalky, I have a hard time doing my shading and highlighting, because your brush just kind of drags. Now, again, I'm not being real careful down here at the bottom because it's going to be covered in that snow text. Trying to get just underneath that cabinet frame. Going just right up into that head, because we're going to go over it and make a ridge for it. I really enjoy doing snowmen. Y'all saw my Santa face posts where I was asking you which one you liked best. Just until just a few years ago, I was just terrified to try Santas. I don't know why. But now I love, love, love doing them. A little bit of that yellow showing right there. Okay, I'm going to put a second coat on that. Let's go ahead and base coat the head though. And then we will also do a second coat on it. The reason I won't be putting the diamond dust on the snowman tonight, I will go ahead and do the snowflakes, and I'll attach them after I seal it. But I learned the hard way that, because I put all the diamond dust on my projects last week, and then took them out and spray sealed them. Oops, that's not where that goes. Spray sealed it. They were so sparkly when I took them out in the garage. I spray sealed it, and the diamond dust was so dull. It had taken almost all the shine off. I mean, there was still a little bit, but it had taken so much of the sparkle off of it. So I redid them. I just put some more on there. But so that's a tip so you don't make the same mistake. After you seal it is when you want to put the diamond dust on, or you'll lose a lot of your sparkle. had so much paint in the brush that it wasn't giving me a good chisel edge. Okay, let's get a little bit of water and kind of thin that out a little bit. I think it's the interior paint I used that's making it kind of dry, just kind of chalky. Okay, let's dry that and we'll put a second coat on that. Let me go ahead and clean this out a little bit. Hi, Miss Heather. Hi, Peggy. You're shying away from the dominoes because it is glass and we have dogs walking around. Oh, and grandbabies. Yeah, it is. It's not really glitter. It is glass. So every time I use it, I vacuum like crazy, and I only use it in my craft room. So I'm usually the only one that comes in here, but I always vacuum really, really well. I just love the effect that it gives. So I always tell them, put your socks on or put your shoes on before you come in here. Okay, just cooling that down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to switch to my large brush and see what it does for me. And I'm already putting my brushes in the wrong one. I brought two things of water out here, one for black, so when I use black. Okay, much less brush strokes. Standing it up on the chisel edge. Right at the edge of that cabinet door. Okay, I'm going to dry that just a little bit because I want to come over and make a little bit of a ridge right there where the head and the neck meet. You could put a scarf on him, put a bird on his head, on his hat, put some pine branches. I mean, there's just so many things that you could do with him. But this was the fastest for me, and since I only have 3 more days until I go set up for the craft show. Okay, fast is what we need. I had said I wasn't going to paint any this week except for the live, but I got everything. I stayed up last night and got almost everything done that I can do. Can't load the car yet, but it's all ready. I'm gonna have to touch up a little bit there. I keep getting, nope, that's good. Okay, and when we shade, it'll cover it up. Okay, so I'm gonna come right around. I'm gonna get quite a bit on that tip because I want a ridge. Okay, so I've got my ridge there. Let's make him just a little bit bigger here. It's so hard doing this so that you guys can see it, but so that I can see it too. It's just an awkward shape. It's not one I can put on the Lazy Susan. See if I can kind of smooth that out. There, I can see what I'm doing with that one. That one is really losing its bristles tonight. Let me see if there's any places that need a little more on it. All right, I think we're good there. So while that's still just a little bit wet, let's go ahead and do some shading on it with gray. Get one of my shaders. Just going to go to a flat. Plaid's number 12 flat. I've got several that I like to use. And let's go with Anita's Rainy Day Gray. Rainy Day. I think we're supposed to get rain and storms tomorrow. Hi, Cindy. Hello, Miss. Is it Tamond? Or do you go by Tammy? I'm sure you've probably already told me that, but I don't have a really good memory when it comes to names. Now, I hardly ever forget a face. Okay, so I'm loading with that base coat color. I'm going to find the words on my brush. There they are. So I'm going to dip in, with that bottom edge there. And let's add some gray. Last Tuesday, when I was live, I kept telling you, I think I hear my husband, that I think somebody's downstairs. Well, it wasn't. It was just the TV. And he was watching the program that he watches all the time, but it sure did sound like one of our members from church. I sure thought it was him, but it wasn't. See, it would be so easy, because I can't see that gray now because it kind of blended in, to put it on the wrong edge, and then I would have shading here and shading on the bottom both. So I go back to my words and make sure I get it on the bottom. It's not going to matter much down here because of the snow tag, but I'm going to go ahead and put some on anyway. Okay, now let's do up here to define even more the head from the body. Very easy to put it on the wrong tip, especially when you're doing a live, because you get to talking and forget what you're doing. Add just a little bit of moisture to that. I want to make it just a little bit darker. and then just kind of blend it out. My clock's ticking again. Makes me sleepy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go underneath where the brim of the hat will be, just to give it a shadowed effect. Let me clean that brush out. I had it in the wrong spot there. And the carrot's going to cover part of that up. It's also pretty, but since I had a blue background, I didn't want to, but it's pretty to shade him in like an icy blue. Okay, I'm going to put just a little more white right in here. I can see that buttercream a little bit. This looks like a piece of paint here. I mean a paint color here, but it's a little bitty indention in the door itself. And these brushes out of the wrong cup there. Okay, so he needs an arm. If you're not comfortable freehanding an arm, you can take a pencil and just draw it out. But because the gray that we're using is going to cover it up. Okay, so let's go just about, I'm looking at this other one to see kind of what I did. So very lightly. Now if you have a colored chalk pencil, you could use that, but that white's not going to show up on this. Okay, so I think we'll go out just a little bit further. The paint is still wet. We'll go out just a little further with his arm here, I mean with his little hand. Okay, and I've got enough of a guideline now that I'm comfy with it. Got enough white there to get my base on. Words. Let's go out just a little further than what we had, and if I need to, I can come back with some white and where I did that pencil mark, cover it up. Go just a little darker here on the bottom. And then twist it around. And voila, he's got an arm to throw snowballs with. Which is another cute feature, since I just said that you can do. It would be cute to do a stack of snowballs. I've done that on some of them. Okay, let's go ahead and work on his hat right quick. Hi, Jan. Jan, are you coming to the craft show Saturday? Okay, so we're just going to go with black to get his hat base coated. Now I've got to remember to put this in the right water, the black water. Oops, I just dripped. Grab a paper towel. Dripped water on it. All right, standing on chisel edge, just to kind of get it outlined. The top part's going to be covered up in snow. Oh, isn't that black pretty on that blue? Y'all, I still get just as excited as the first time I painted and figured out I could do this. Just the pretty colors, and the chicken one has gotten me just so pumped up. I'm just loving the color combination on it. And how, like this one, how this black is just popping against the... I mean, I've already painted this. You know, I painted the other one. But it just still excites me. After 30-something years of painting, I still enjoy it that much. I had the hardest time after I... got everything down off the walls and everywhere in here. I'll post pictures tomorrow. But my walls are so bare. I've got a few things still that I keep for training purposes, for paint parties and things, but it really made me sad, very sad, to see that I get attached to them. Isn't that silly? But when they've been on my wall forever, and I painted, you know, every one of them, and especially if it's got little faces on it, I just get attached. And so that's why I'm just not sure the chicken's going to make it out of here. But it needs to. I can't run a business if I keep everything. I mean, I can't make a profit. All right, I'm going to get a little bit smaller brush to get down in this crevices here. So I'm just going to a very tiny little flat brush. I got way too much water in it. And then once I get this done, wherever there's a chalk line that I didn't go all the way out to it, or that's what's great about those chalk pencils, is that you can just wipe it off. Got my brushes everywhere over here because there wasn't room to put them where I normally put them. I've got a liner brush now, just trying to clean up around the bill of the hat. Another thing about these cabinet doors, I know that not all of them are like this, but this one has a lot of little, because it is real wood, it has a lot of little ridges in the wood, crevices, I guess you would say. So sometimes you get the paint in there and it goes a different direction than what you're wanting it to go. Okay, let me put a second coat on that. Now, if you don't have wooden snowflakes, you can draw your snowflakes on, or you can do the, with the toothbrush, splatter paint some little snow, or just even little dots. Just about anything you do in white on it's going to look like snow. So I'm having to make sure that it really gets down in those crevices so the blue's not showing. I'm going to use, I like the Tuscan red, but if it's a small project, I use the Anita's True Red or Deco Art Tomato Red, so as not to waste my Tuscan. I love it, and Ashley Richard with Oh So Darling said she's been on Deco's website several times looking for it, and they're not listing it, so we're kind of scared that they may be doing away with it, which I don't understand because it's the best red I've ever used. It covers so well. Okay, I got a little bit too wide there, so let's clean that up. I covered up my shading there, so I'm going to go back and reshade that right quick. So I'm just going to use the same brush and just get a little bit on the tip there. Smooth it out. And a little bit too much gray on it. Okay, let's go ahead and do the red. Typically I wait till last to do the red, but I'm wanting to go ahead and get him shaded on the outside. So let's go ahead and do that True Red. And this is the Anita's brand. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of white under it. Well, let's just do the buttermilk. It doesn't take much. And I'm just going to go with a smaller flat brush. Just up on the chisel. I'm debating on, I have another craft show. I haven't confirmed it yet because I wanted to see how much I had left from this one Saturday before I commit to it. But that's December the 4th, I think. It's on a Saturday. And I'm thinking, oh, is that too close to the holidays? Am I going to be going crazy? But then I think, okay, well, whatever I've got left is already going to be loaded up in the trailer from cleaning up. It will probably, and it's very close here to us. And it's one that lets you set up the Friday night before. And it doesn't start until 11 that day. So I'm thinking, you would be crazy not to. So it'll all depend on how much product I have left. Because they haven't advertised it like they normally do. I don't know why. But, and with COVID, I'm just not sure what to expect this year. Okay, let's try that and put some red on it. Okay, Christy. Thanks for hopping on. Hi, Miss Teacher. Did you just get off work? All right, let's stick some red on here. It's going to look pink, the first coat. And I'll come back with some black liner and clean all that up too. My husband's got the Bible lesson for church tomorrow night, so he's down there studying hard for that. Well, actually, I think he's eating right now, but took a break. He was so sweet. He ran into town for me because I needed some special hooks for Saturday for my grid wall. So he ran and got me some and brought supper back. Okay, let's try that. You could put his hat band any color you wanted to. Ooh, you got off at 2:30. Just relaxing and gearing up for your day off. Yay. Do you find that since you're working, you get more done? I don't know, when I worked, I always felt, okay, I got to get this done because I got to go to work. But now it's like in my mind, I cleaned house today. I vacuumed and did a lot of cleaning, but I'll find myself going, oh, I'm off. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. But when I was working, I always got it done because I knew I had to go back to work the next day. So I would get a lot done either on Saturday or when I came in from work, but I always got off at 5 or 6. All right, now that red's starting to pop. It's right on the edge. I've had several already commenting about this being at the show. I'm like, well, I can't hold anything. It's just, I've got 2. It'll be kind of first come, first serve. I decided this year to have in my booth a little corner that is as is. DIY, as is, do your own project. I've got several little things that I've had over the years that I didn't get painted. Little shelves, and I don't know, there's several little things. So I'm just going to put a section over there, and they're going to be marked really, really low. And it's just going to be the bargain corner. All right, I think we're good on that. I do need another coat of the black. I can kind of see it streaking a little bit. Just enough to get it covered. Okay, let me switch to that smaller one to get the little brim. I sure hope we get some snow. I was telling one of the kiddos at church the other night, I said, I hope we get snow. She said, well, I heard, let's see, she's maybe 14 or so, I'm not sure. Anyway, she said, well, I heard it's supposed to be a really snowy year this year. We don't get a lot of snow in Texas. Here in my part of Texas. I'm about 50 miles, 60 miles north of Dallas. And a lot of times when we get the snow, we get ice with it. I don't like the ice at all. Okay, so lots of drying in between things here. Do I know? I cannot drive on it at all. Hey, Crystal. Well, it starts at 9 o'clock. I can't wait to see you. Be prepared for a hug. Okay, now what I want to do is, and a lot of people don't do this, and I don't always do it on every single piece, but I like to shade around whatever my subject is a darker color than what the background is. So we did it in the Colonial Blue with white mixed to give it a sky look. So I'm going to use Deco Art Deep Midnight Blue. So here's the contrast. So I'm going to use this to shade around his body. So I'm going to turn him around. Oops, I need to outline that around the hat band right quick. And then we'll put some little dots on there, but I'm going to do that last because it takes them a little while to dry. So I've just got a liner brush. I'm going to go over that red just to tie it in. I'm going to clean up just a little bit on his brim too. I think our band, I think they said they just went to state, and I think they said they came in 9th, which out of like 200 bands, that is awesome. Okay, so I'm just cleaning up a little bit where the paint bled a little bit in those crevices. Alright, I think we're good there. Okay, so I'm going to get some of that Colonial Blue, the base coat. And then the deep Midnight Blue. It's a really pretty color too. If we need to reload some more, we will. Okay, let me try my small brush and see how I like that. If not, if I don't like that, we'll go to the larger one. Okay, so I'm going to turn him around a little bit so I can go the right way. Okay, and here's my little setup over here. I've got this cup for the black and red, and then this is for my clean. I've got all my brushes laying here. I always have a wet cloth right here, so sometimes I will get it wet. Like this, I'll get it wet, but then I'll just dab it on that wet cloth. And so I've just got it all right here at my fingertips. I use water a lot, but you can also use blending gel. Find my words. There they are. Okay, so I'm going to have to kind of move around to get this. I'm going to come down just as far as I can because I'm not sure exactly where the snow is going to end up. But just on the outside of his body. And just all around the hat, everywhere that it touches the background blue. And then just kind of blend it in. Now, I will have to knock that water off yet. In fact, let me get mine. Because I mixed in white, this blue's a little bit darker, the base coat, than what it is. So we may have to kind of go back through it. That wet wipe's not wet, not a wet wipe anymore. It's a dry wipe. And just kind of blend it out that way. I'm going to wash it out and see if I can get away without putting the base coat on it. And see if we can get it to blend out okay. Put some moisture in there. Don't want too much. Now I know the snow's going to go over it that far, so. Okay, look at the difference where I've gone around the outside of his belly and I haven't done the face yet. It just makes him almost look 3D. Sure I got that on the right one. Crystal, this is Lori and Carla's. I don't know if they're going to be doing it anymore after this year. The ones that are on the opposite end of the stage from me at the craft show. So if you want some of their stuff, you better get it. See, I want to do this now because the carrot nose is going to come out over it. It would be harder to do it after you get the nose on. I think I came out too far with that black. I need to go over that right there with red again. Just to kind of give a shadow effect. Need a little more moisture. I think we're going to get away without using that base coat. Clean it up a little bit here. Okay, and then across the top of his hat. And really flatten that brush out. It's really not going to matter a lot across the top of the hat because we're going to have some snow on it. Now you could even take it a step further and go through here and shade around here. But for time's sake, we're not going to do that. Okay, snow's going to be there, so we're good there. Okay, see the difference that makes? I hope you can see it because it really makes a difference. All right, I'm going to get a little bit of white. It's really hard to see with this ring light in certain spots. So I see some cleanup I want to do right here with on the gray. With just a little bit of white. Just want to tone that one down just a little bit, so I'm just barely going over it on the inside with a little bit of white just to soften it. Okay, well, let me fix the red. So I want the band to come out all the way to his hat. Okay, good enough. Okay, and I I think we shaded just a little bit, or highlighted actually, on his hat with some gray. I'm not going to worry about the top of it because it'll be covered in snow. I was about to put it in the blue. Just to kind of give it a little bit of a shimmer look where the light would be. Okay, and let's do the same thing right down here at the brim. Be careful getting in that little part of the brim. I should have made the brim bigger to be easier to get into. Okay, I don't want a harsh line. I just want a little bit to look like the light shining on it. And put a little bit on this part. Okay. Now I'm going to be working down here on the face, so we can go ahead and put the little dots. Man, I'm going to paint everywhere. And I'm just going to use, instead of my little daughter, I'm going to go ahead and shade that hat band right quick with some Deco Art Napa Red. It is my favorite color for shading red. Napa Red, almost a burgundy. Not quite, but almost. This one's nearly empty. I've started when a bottle is empty, I put it in a special box, and then when I go to, I think that's plenty. When I go to Hobby Lobby, I know what I need, rather than get there and then try to remember, oh, what was I out of? So I don't just throw it away. I go ahead and put it in that box, and then I know what I need. And I know it's hard to tell the difference on camera, but the shading and highlighting just sets it apart. String on it. Okay, so that looks much better. Let's go ahead and get a little petal for some dots. And And I'm just going to use the end of this flat brush, and I'm just going to dip it until it's just kind of dripping off. And let's see, we'll do one. And I'm not touching all the way down to the wood. And then I'll have to be careful and not get my arm in it, but I wanted them to just be drying while we're working down on the face. Oh, I got red on my finger somewhere. Put some little ones in there. All right, let me get that red off. There it is on the end of that brim. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I've got one there's a little wompy job, but he looks okay. Okay, so let's get started on the face. Turn him around again. So I'm going to use a pencil to kind of place where I want. Let's go ahead and do the eye. And when it's a side view, I like to do this just a sideways V for the eye. Grab my other pencil here. That was pretty dull. Okay, so I want him kind of looking up. So I'm just going to okay, so I've just got a sideways V. And then I'm going to do the eyeball. And it's just a curve outward, and then not all the way back to the back, but then I'm going to curve the other way, the opposite way, towards the back of his head. And we've got an instant eye. Okay, and then we'll do eyelashes, and we'll go ahead and put where we want his eyebrow. And then let's go ahead and I'm trying to do this sideways. So y'all bear with me here. I'm trying to do it so you can see. So I want the nose to start, about right here. And I'm going to do it kind of light. And it's again another V with just some wavies in it. And just come to a point. And then we'll do a side mouth. I always like them smiling. Okay, let's go ahead and glue our buttons on so they'll be drying. Well, now that I have these in the light, they're not black. These are blue and this one's black. So I'm going to have to get some different buttons. I'm going to have to paint some. But what I will do, I'll show you how to do it. I use the Stick Fast glue, the CA Thick, and that's the name of it, Stick Fast. And man, does it stick fast. And so I will just place the buttons about right there. But I don't want blue and black. So I've got some wooden ones that are this size, so I will just paint some wooden ones and stick them on there. But I like to use the real buttons whenever I can. It just gives it a 3D look and just really makes a big difference. So while we're working on the face, let's go ahead and do the snow text down here. I've got a little bit left in this little jar. Let's go ahead and do that. Get a good brush here. And it really needs to dry overnight. It will harden overnight, so you really need to let it dry. And that's what it looks like. And after it's good and dry, and then after I spray seal it, then I will put that diamond dust on. And so I just scoop it out, and I just start, and you can get it as thick or thin as you want it. And you can use regular glitter too if you don't like the diamond dust with it. Making sure I'm getting it down in those corners. I don't mind getting it on the bottom of the frame. And this just washes out with warm water. I usually wash it out with warm water and soap. This is probably the fourth or fifth, because I did it on the sleds as well, that I've done just out of this little one. I'm going to make it come up just a little bit further, and I'm just pouncing it on. I don't want it flat, but you could do it flatter if you wanted it flat. Okay, so we've got instant snow. Okay, I'm going to put that in the water and just let it soak. And I've still got enough left to probably do one more project out of this. But I also just ordered this size. So I've got enough snow. If it doesn't snow here in Texas, I'm going to make my own snow. All right, let's start on this face. Looks like I got a little bit of red there. Let me get that covered up. But before we do that, I know it's like 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and see who wins. If you just hopped on, if you haven't seen what the happy mail is that's going to be sent out, I've got a whole little bag of stuff, and then this little guy. He's got a lot of sparkle on him, but he's a two-sided, so you've got winter, or well, Christmas for this one, but Christmas, and then Love for Valentine's. So you've got December and February covered. So you're going to be winning that. I'm going to be gifting that. I know Facebook doesn't like us saying winning for some reason. So I've got all these names in here. Whoops. Let's see who's going to get it. I want to pick all of them. Jerry Kate Thompson. All right, most of you know Jerry Thompson on here. She's such a good helper. So Jerry, congratulations. You'll be getting the Santa, and you will be getting the little package of goodies. So I will be sending that to you next week. Congratulations, Jerry. Hi, Tracy. Sorry, Crystal. I'm sorry. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and get back down here and stay with this because it is. Let me grab. I have these taped up on the wall earlier because I went ahead and with a sponge painter or face makeup. Sorry, say Facebook, but makeup sponge. I just got some white and dabbed on there, but I will be going over them with Mod Podge and then that diamond dust here in just a few minutes. But let's go ahead and get the face going. So I've still got black out, so let's go ahead and do the eye. See if I can do this upside down and around. It's getting a little dry, so let me add a little bit of water to it. Oh my goodness, y'all, my phone's ringing. I can hear the message that it's leaving. I bet we get at least, and I'm not kidding you, at least 5 to 6 phone calls a day. Your extended warranty is about to go out in your car. This is our 3rd warning and this and that, and it's a different company every time that calls. Our warranty is not out on our car, our extended warranty. And anyway, I get so tired of them. Sometimes it's a man's voice. Sometimes it's a woman's voice. And they're like, we've tried to reach you 3 times. I'm going, well, I haven't replied to you for a reason. Okay, so let's get the eyebrow. Make sure I don't have any paint on my hand. And let's get some eyelashes going here. And I've got his eye at an angle, the eyeball, like he's looking up at the snowflakes. All right, let me get a little bit bigger brush to do that with. And I'll dry that and put a second coat on it. Can you tell that I'm trying to paint fast so that I don't have you on here forever? Because this one has a lot of stuff to it. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn him my way just for a second to do the eyelashes, because I like to kind of flick them out from the back towards the front or top. This is so awkward. I'm so sorry. It's just hard to get it at the right angle. All right, so I've got a long one there. Do another long one here. And then a little one in between. And then another little one. And another long one. You're like, well, he's a guy. He shouldn't have pretty long eyelashes. I have seen boys with gorgeous eyelashes that us women would do anything for. Okay, and I'm going to turn it the other way to do the bottom. I just added a little bit of water. So I'm going to start at the back. And then put some little ones in between. I'm just putting some tiny ones in between. Okay, and then we need to do the smile. And I'm going to switch to my little bit longer liner. Okay, and I'm adding just a little bit of water to my black. Okay, I'm going to use my arm. This is a little bit hard because this is set down in this frame, so can't guide my hand like I normally do, but I like to use my wrist and my arm and my little finger to guide when I'm lining. Let's get it just a little bit of that. It went just a little bit over further than I wanted it to. Okay. All right, let's do the nose. Let's see, which brush do I want to use? All right, I think I'm going to try this little flat, the tiny one. And we're going to start with Canyon Orange, Deco Art Canyon Orange. Let's see if I've got another one. That one's brand new. I do. Try not to open a new one until I just absolutely have to. This little brush is starting to get frayed on me. Okay, I'm going to erase because that orange is a little transparent. So I'm going to erase the pencil lines just enough to where I can still see them, but they won't show through. And I see a little spot on that mouth that I need to clean up. Now you could do an open mouth if you wanted to. I'm just going to leave it like that. And Looks like that. Well, I've got this out. It looks like the eye is going to need a little bit more black too since it's dried. Well, you don't want to put orange on it and then do that. Let's dry it right quick. We're getting very close. I want his smile line to be a little more smiley. Okay, that covered it up. And then we need to do the blue on his eye. Well, we still got some blue that's not dry. So I'm going to take that smaller round brush. See what I did with it. Well, I'm knocking all my brushes off. I've still got one that I can't find that I love, and I think I accidentally threw it away. Okay, so in that Colonial Blue, while it's still wet, let's go through here, on the back of his eye, and do some blue. And I'm just bringing it around like a big comma stroke. Let's make it just a little bit wider. Okay, and then with my daughter, I'm going to make a little white dot in his eye. But let me get my different size. And I'm going to put it up top. Like he's looking up. Okay, let's go ahead and put some, I'm using Poodle Skirt Pink for his little smile area there. And I'm going to get I want a dry brush. I don't want one that has been wet. Okay, so I'm going to use just a dry flat brush, and I'm going to get most of it off, and we're just going to come right inside. We need a little bit of water. Thought it would go on here dry, but it wouldn't. And I'm just going to make a circle. You can also use blush. Okay, now we can do the nose. And then we'll glitter this snowflakes. Right now he can't breathe. We gotta get him a nose. And his mouth is closed, so. But he will be so cute when we get his buttons on him. Okay, so Canyon Orange. Make sure I got all the paint off of me. And I start from the tip and work my way back. Depending on the mood I'm in. Sometimes I go the opposite direction. Alright, I'm going to switch to a round. I don't like how that one's doing. So I'm going to switch to a round brush. That one was getting a little frayed. And I'm just going to kind of flatten it out. Okay, I do know something I forgot to do. And I usually, right here where it's blue, go over it in white first. So I'm going to dry it and do that so that that will show up better. If you don't, it's going to be darker outside of it than it is on his face. And then we need to put snow on his hat. I don't know why I wiggle it. No idea. Just a habit. Okay, so you should have done this step first. That way it'll really be bright. I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole thing so it'll be consistent. Making some little humps there, like a real carrot would have. Alright, now it should be pretty consistent. Let me smooth it out a little bit with some water. Alright, let's dry that and put some orange on it. I think it'll look much, much better. So I'm getting it pretty full and then just kind of flattening it out. But I still have my tip for the tip of his nose. Okay, see how much better that's showing up? Now it looks orange. So now, guys, I was just thinking, now that I'm at 604, maybe more than that, I haven't looked, that means I'm on the downside of getting to 1,000. I am so excited. Kind of cool that down a little bit. Okay, now let's get a little bit of shading done with Deco Art Burnt Orange. So it's just a little bit darker. Just enough to give it some detail. I'm going to go with the flat. Okay, words are on that side, so bottom. Oh, it's hard to see what I'm doing here. That burnt orange is really a good one to shade your lighter colors of orange with. And I'm also going to go back in with a little bit of this buttercream. If I dig into it here, or buttermilk, I think, I'm sorry, butter, I keep saying buttercream. I'm going to put just a little bit of that on there. And first with this liner brush, I'm going to detail the little lines. Everywhere there's a little hump. You could also do this with brown. We're going to have snow on it, so some of it won't show it. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit of that buttermilk. Don't want much, just enough to kind of highlight it. We're going to have snow there on the end, so it's okay. Okay, and since I've got some white still wet, we can just go ahead and put some snow on there. Just got my flat brush and just randomly putting some here on the edge of his nose, the tip where it's blue. Okay, let's go ahead and do the snow on his hat. And I think, if I remember correctly, I used a filbert brush. No, I didn't. I used a round and a flat. So let's go ahead and just dab some on here, and then we will, I'm going to use the chalk pencil just to kind of give me an idea of where I want the dips. I think that's fun. So I'm just patting it on here. And then when I do the diamond dust, it'll be all sparkly. We're going to put a little bit on the brim of the hat too. And again, you could put a bird up here, but for time's sake, we're not going to. Not tonight, anyway. Okay, so now I'm just going to come down with the white. I think my dots are dry enough not to worry about them now. And we'll just fill it in. See if I can get it a little bit different angle so you can see what I'm doing here. And then once it's dry, I'll just clean those chalk lines off. You want to clean them off before you seal it. And I may not go exactly like I did it with the chalk lines, but it just kind of gives me an idea of where I want it. And it'll take a couple of coats. Oops, too much water in that. It'll be all sparkly and you really won't even see the white, but it needs to have a base of it. And then we'll do the same thing with the Mod Podge. You would just brush it on everywhere that you want it to be, and make sure you don't get it where you don't want it to be, where you don't want it to be. So I'm not being just super careful. I'm not putting a full base coat on it because it's going to be covered up. Let's make this one a little. It's just so hard to do it upside down. Okay, and then when we get the glitter on it, it will look like sparkly snow. Okay, let's work on the snowflakes right quick. All right, I'm going to set him aside. getting there. He's almost done. Upside down, even. Okay, so let's work on these. Now, this is a trick I'd showed you earlier. Sticky side up. Anytime you have something little that you don't want to hold in your hand and paint. Let me get my paper. Just stick them on this. Use a sponger or brush, however you want to do it. I'm going to put this on here. And whoops, no. Sorry, we can't do it that way. I've got it painted that way, but we can't do the glitter that way, or the glitter's going to stick to the tape. Glad I thought about that before I did it. Can y'all tell I'm sleep deprived right now? I worked so late getting everything ready last night. Okay, so we don't need that anymore. But we do need our Mod Podge. I use the matte. I do not like the glossy. It just does not dry. And I'm going to just brush it on. Just going to dab it on. These are so tiny. Now, typically I would go ahead and put this on the Snowman before I glitter them, but since I learned that once you spray seal it and you've got that glitter on there, it just takes all the sparkle away. So we're going to go ahead and sparkle them, and then I'll put them on tomorrow after I seal him. And I'm getting a pretty generous amount on there. And this is wax paper, so it'll be easy to get off. Now this is a little bit messier, and some of the glitter is gonna stick onto the wax paper, but that's okay. Hi Sheila. Hi Janice. Thank y'all so much for hopping on. And thank you guys for sprinkling. Okay, I'm very liberal with it. Let me go ahead and move these down here. Maybe we won't get so much glue, so much glitter stuck up there. And I've got just my little spoon, and I just really cover them. And like Peggy was saying earlier, this is little shards of glass, this diamond dust. It's not really glitter. So you do have to be careful. It's not something I would let a small child use. Okay, so I've got them covered really well here, making sure I get the tips. And it may not stick to every little part of it, but they will be glittered. And then I just really press down. If you don't have a little spoon or something, take the lid upside down and press it down. Sparkly. Can you see that sparkle? Okay, I'm going to put the Mod Podge up. We'll let it set for just a second. And then we'll pour the leftover back in there. Alright, that should be plenty of time. Now I've got to take my snowflakes up first, and I'm just going to put them on a plate. Bounce all the extra off. See if you can see that sparkling. See how that sparkle? Oh, it's so pretty. I just absolutely love it. And then with that stick fast glue, we will glue them on there. But I'm going to go ahead and put them in place. Just lay them where I want them so we can go ahead and paint the extra snowflakes, the painted ones. Okay, so we got a whole plate of sparkly. Set those up there while we... And I just get it all in a crevice, whoops, and put it back in the jar. Now, since I got glue on this one, I'm not going to save it. That one in the trash. But then I do go ahead and get a dry brush. I sweep everything I can. I don't want anything that's not supposed to go in there, trash, whatever. And then I just swoop it back into the jar. And then I vacuum real good afterwards. That easy. And then that's what we'll do on what I'll do on the hat. I'll just paint over where I've painted with that Mod Podge. Okay, let's get our little guy back up here. And this is already starting to get, you know, dry. It's still soft. So overnight and tomorrow it will be super hard. And then what I will do with it after I seal it is I'll take that Mod Podge and just, I mean, really get it good and heavy on there. And then I'll just cover it with that diamond dust and stand it up and let it fall out just like I did on that. I did say on here that, you know, I got it for 16 something off of Amazon, and then noticed that Michael's had it on their website for $10.99 a 14-ounce jar, but by the time you pay shipping and tax, it was the same price as it was on Amazon. And Michael's did not have it in their stores. You did have to order it. Okay, so let's go ahead and place those snowflakes where we want them. I gotta remember we're gonna have buttons there, so let's do one there. There, and each one of these is a different shape. Let's do one here. Don't know that we have, well, let's see. Might just paint one there for his nose. Well, we'll see what it looks like. That may be okay. And there. Okay, these buttons are blue. That's why I'm not using them. I thought they were black, but they're blue. So we can put one here, kind of going over him. And I can put one down here, or I can put another one. I could spread his buttons out a little further and put one there maybe. And That's half the battle, is figuring out where you want to put. I'm going to put a little bit smaller one. This one's smaller. And I'll put it just right out there, not on his, actually on his belly, and bring this one in just a little bit. And we'll put a third one up there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our snowflakes. I'm going to get a little bit of new paint because I've used that white several times and I want it to be good and fresh. And I'm going to water it down just a little bit. Find my little liner brush. There we go. So I'm going to use a long liner brush. And just in between these snowflakes, bring this one in a little bit so they're not just all straight. And then we'll just draw some on. We are almost done. Hi, Sue. Thanks for hopping on. We are almost done with what I can do tonight. I have to go spray seal it and then let it dry, and then I will put the sparkle on the snow down below him and on his hat. Okay, so I'm going to switch to my smaller liner brush. Okay, so I'm going back to that smaller one. See if I can do these upside down and sideways here. Okay, so I'm going to put one up here in the corner. And I'm going to make, let's see if I can do it this way. I'm going to make a T. Just barely touching. No pressure at all. So make a long T and then a short X. And then we'll put little dots on them. So let's put one down here. So long, and then a little X in the middle. You could also just do dots or splatter. Okay, so let's put one. You want to try to get the crosses right in the center. You want them to meet in the center. Now the way we've got his eye kind of angling up, it looks like he's looking just right at that snowflake. Do one kind of over here to the side. The brush is trying to split bristles on me. That one didn't turn out too good. See if we can save it. There we go. And just a little bit of water. Oops, sorry. Move you down here so you can see what I'm doing. We unloaded our shed last night after David got off work with all of my displays. I have the grid walls. They're so heavy. But we unloaded all of them. I have 6 panels, and there's 2 panels to a panel. So anyway, we unloaded all of those down the hill into the garage, loaded the trailer. I don't know, several things, but let me tell you, when I woke up this morning, I thought, okay, I need to get up. Well, my brain told me to get up, but my body would not move. I was so sore. Reminded me I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Let's do a little one right up at the top here. And I want to do some kind of down towards the bottom here. My husband is so sweet to help me. Don't know what I would do without his help. I probably wouldn't do it. Okay, let me see if there's any place else we need. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, let me get the daughter. And then we're going to go through and put dots on all of them. Okay, so I always start in the center. And then just on the end of every stroke. Fans blowing on my wood blanks over there. All right, I know I didn't have a lot of conversation with y'all tonight with the comments, but I was just determined this wasn't going to take 4 hours to do. I'm trying to get faster when I'm doing my lives, but I don't want to compromise the piece either. I'm just not a fast painter, but I sure do enjoy it. All right, everybody say a prayer tonight that our craft show is a success. I'm very, very nervous about it this year because they didn't have it last year and just have not seen a lot of advertisement that they're having it. So I'm hoping that people realize that, you know, that it is going on. I'm going to switch to the smaller end here for these, right by the door frame. Just about there. You could use the wood end of your paintbrush or the tip of a dull pencil to do this if you don't have a daughter. But now I got my set at Hobby Lobby. And there's 3 to a package, so you get 6 different sizes. But Dollar Tree, the one that Jerry will be getting in her Happy Meal, it's got 2 different sizes. So Dollar Tree has those now. I did hear on the news where Dollar Tree is not going to be just $1 anymore. So don't know how much the prices are going to go up. Hopefully not a lot. I think there's so many businesses just trying to survive. You know, and everything's costing them more now. The inflation is terrible, so it's costing them more, so they got to make it up somewhere. As a crafter, I totally understand that because materials have just gone up like crazy. Last one, and it's a little one. Okay, do y'all see one that I forgot to dot? See one anywhere? I think we got them all. Now you could, again, you could do a cute scarf on here. I think I'm going to tone the little cheek down just a little bit. I'm just going to add just a little bit of white. Kind of tone it down just a tad. It's pretty bright. Okay, now I know the hat looks terrible right now, but that's not even going to show because I'm going to get Mod Podge put all over it and cover it in that diamond dust, and you'll never even see that. But I just like to kind of do that so I'll know where exactly I'm going to put it. And let's see, is there anything else that we didn't do? I think we got everything. So you could use this as a porch leaner. We're going to put heavy duty hangers on the back so you can just easily hang it on a wall. You could splatter some white on it if you wanted to. You could even put glitter on his body. See, did I do that on the other one? No, I did not put glitter all over his body. But makes such a pretty gift. Or a pretty project to have. It's so hard. I do snowmen one of my rooms, so it's hard not to do that. This is the first, very, 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 very first wood piece that I ever painted. And I wish I could show you the bow on the back side because it was a mess. But this came in a kit, so I'm going to try to make one of these. This was 30 something years ago. I don't even think this company's in business anymore. I tried and tried and tried to find them. How cute. Not. Anyway, I tried to find them online to see if I could get any more kits, but I don't even think they exist anymore. So I'm going to do something. I will do something different than this because I don't want it to be exactly like theirs. But I don't know if I'll do it like this, you know, but anyway, this was the very, very first thing I ever painted. I mean, the very first wood. 2 weeks before this, I painted on a sweatshirt, and that was the very first thing that I ever painted. But it was pretty messy on the back. I mean, I had stuff everywhere, but I was hooked. Well, I'm pretty proud of that bow for the first time. I mean, it was horrible on the back side. I had to turn it around and redo it. So this little guy's been on my wall every Christmas since, let's see, Jennifer's 35 years. So that's how long it's been that I've been painting. And again, this was a kit and had the pattern already for you. But every time I look at him, I try to remember, because I'm so hard on myself when it comes to painting. I'm so critical. I'm like, oh, I need to be doing this better. I need to be doing this. But I look back and I think, okay, you have grown. You have come a long ways. And so every time I look at him, there's just so many emotions and things that come along with it. But he's held up pretty good. But anyway, I get him out every year just so that it reminds me, you know, don't be too harsh on yourself. So, Miss Jerry Cates, again, you're the winner of all the goodies that I'll be sending, and you're the winner of this little guy. He's all sparkly, and then a heart on the other side, and then your little bag of everything that I'll be sending you. So, thank you guys so very much for hanging in with me, and thank y'all so much for sprinkling and getting me up to 604 last time I checked this evening. Every time I write it down, I go back and there's one or two more every single day. So I love it. So now my goal is 700. So, and we got to this 600 in about a week and a half. So I know it's possible, and that's because of you guys, and I appreciate it. So if you're coming to the craft show Saturday, if you're local and you're coming to that, I will be, when you face the stage, when you'll come in the back of the building. When you face the stage, I'll be on the left-hand corner of the stage. And then I've got several friends that are in it that will be in various places. But don't forget to come and say hi. And I know Jan is supposed to be coming, so I'll get to meet her. I've already met Judy, and I'm sure Judy will probably be coming, Judy Logston. But can't wait to see you all. So Jerry, be sure, I probably have your address written down, but just be sure and instant message me just in case, so I can get this sent out to you. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I hope you learned a lot on this. I do already have a picture posted of the other one that's pretty much exactly the same, so go on and look at the finished product. But I'm going to spray him and then get everything glued down and get the rest of that glitter on tomorrow. So thanks a lot, and everybody say a prayer that the show is successful. All of us have put in so much work for it, so hopefully everything will go well. But thank you guys. You have a wonderful rest of the week. I'm going to try to go live at the show if we have time. I'll try to go live a little bit. So thanks a lot. Bye-bye.